Hey everyone, welcome back to the Severed Chains Devstream. This is our weekly abuse of Legend of Dragoon. We've got a full house here, pretty much the entire Severed Chains Devstream. We've got Ink, Icarus, Zycronix, Doom Metal, Drew is here too. Drew isn't really part of the Severed Chains team, but they managed
Oh,
the,
thanks.
I was gonna say you managed the community. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. Everyone want to say hi?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
All right, good enough. How is everyone doing tonight?
pretty good.
José, chef. Su especialidad es la comida gourmet.
Drew's doing well, I guess.
José,
Whose mic is
chef.
that?
Doom.
Doom, you've got some television or something coming through your mic.
Maybe he just went Dragoon.
Must have. Hey J man. Hey Cine D Gaming. Hey Gerald, Jim Jones, Chocolate, what's up? Monomoto Loco. How's everyone doing? All right, so first off, we got some very, very cool stuff to show off. We've got some more progress on the upscale project to show off here. This is stuff that Zycronix literally just sent me. Some brand new, never before seen scenes. So we are going to let's start off with the snowfield. So these have just been redone. For anyone who is not familiar with the upscale project, Zycronix, do you want to give a quick blurb about it before I get into this?
We use AI upscaling models called super resolution to increase the size of the original backgrounds. I guess
What
that's as short as I can make it.
yeah, what's the upscaling ratio? Like what's the size ratio?
We are aiming for 8 times for the backgrounds and 4 times for the in battle stuff.
Nice, yeah. So we have done a bit of work here to make a Severed Chains mod that makes it really, really easy to get these upscales into the game. So the upscale project was originally going to be a mod for RetroArch, but they ran into some issues where the emulator just did not perform very well. What was it, like very high loading times? Or just
It
like
was
poor.
chugging in battle with everything upscaled.
Right, yeah. So battle was a big issue. Um, but yeah, as you can see in Severed Chains, like we're not even breaking a sweat here. Like I'm playing on a laptop with integrated graphics while streaming to both YouTube and Discord right now. And well, let's look at the CPU usage for Severed Chains. So yeah, I'm running at around, yeah, sitting at, anywhere between 5-10% CPU usage and 10% GPU usage, which is, barely breaking a sweat. And we haven't really even done much optimization here. Oh, and this is also up to 60 frames per second too. We've got some more maps to show off here. This one is quite a big difference. And we can... hold on, why did Chocolate's message get deleted? Or you gotta tame you gotta tame
Okay.
Nightbot down a little bit.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, it might have been just too many comments about chocolate whipping cream, for all I know.
Yeah, it might have been. We can also scoot our way down here. It does add a small amount to the loading time, but that's because it's loading like megabytes of textures for each area, as opposed to the, you know, few kilobytes of textures. But you know, we've got such little loading time as it stands. It still loads much faster than the retail game.
The green tablet tower thing over there looks pretty sick.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Must have retouched it.
The Chronix, did you do any retouching to that tower at all, or is that just the upscale model?
Just the upscale model, the new ones. TFC and I were experimenting earlier this year.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all. A little blobby, but I mean, all things said, like that's pretty good for just a straight up upscale with no retouching.
Corey, I'm not
Happy New
sure
Year,
if it's
Sean.
just your client, but the YouTube stream seems to be lagging a little bit when loading those upscales.
Yeah, we are dropping some frames here. So I think I will shut down the live stream on Discord and just do YouTube.
Sounds good.
Alright, can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yep, that looks like it corrected it, so sorry about that, everyone. This area looks pretty nice. It does it does a pretty good job with all the little details on the stone in the background.
It actually looks like stone. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you can really see it. Just for fun, I am going to disable the upscale. 1 second here. So we can see what the original looks like.
Want to copy Halo Anniversary Edition, where you can just toggle it in the pause menu or something real fast?
We'll have a toggle option in the settings menu. Oh right, we're not actually loading the regular textures, so that won't work. I forgot about that, but yeah, we do plan on having a toggle option in the settings menu, so you can just turn it on and off at will. This looks pretty nice too.
I like it better this way, because this way it validates the theory that the void actually has snowfall.
This is looking great. I know we're in stretched widescreen here right now, but not too bad.
So how big will this be when the entire game is upscaled?
Zycronix did some rough numbers the other day. What was that, Zycronix?
20 gigs?
20 gigs, yeah. There you go. So 20 gigs for the whole thing. We are planning on releasing it as like single disc downloads. So you'll basically be able to, either like if you just want to try it out. For example, you could download like, disc one and take a look, see how it looks, or download whatever disc you're on. And it also just helps with people with spotty internet connections and stuff, not having to download the full 20 gigs all at once. I think we're also
It's not
going to
too bad.
release the I think we're also going to release the maps and battle stuff separately.
And so, what resolution should the game be played at to see it the best? I guess.
It's a good question, Zychronics. What's the actual resolution of the backgrounds? I guess it would be 8 times the original resolution.
Yeah, so these are technically 4K textures for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah, so
So
playing
TV
in
gaming.
4K.
But I mean, if you play it at 2x, it'll be fine. Which I think we're also going to do that as well. Release a 2x version and 4x of the backgrounds.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea for smaller downloads. People who are playing on like 1080p and stuff obviously don't need the full 4K textures. By the way, we are playing in 1080p right now. For those in the chat who don't know, we're currently working on a major graphics overhaul with HD rendering, widescreen, 60 frames per second. So that's what you're seeing here right now. Oh yes, full screen too, of course. Everyone asks for full screen, and we gotta say it's coming in the next build. By the way, did you guys know that you can press start here and teleport back up to the top?
Yes, but I never remember the combination.
Well, the combination is just one button, so.
Oh, if you do a quick battle showcase, I will strongly-ish recommend the Tidal Wave
Tidal Wave?
with Rigol. It looks so juicy.
Oh yeah. We'll have to check it out.
This doesn't look good compared to what we were seeing before.
No, these are not upscaled, as you might be able to tell. We're just
But
going
the ice
to...
reflections still look great.
Oh yeah, they really do the animations. Oh, that's another thing. There were what Lloyd was asking. Are you not gonna let me? Do I need to say yes? Okay. He just doesn't want to come with. So yeah, again, anyone who's new here and hasn't seen this stuff, this is full HD world map, native widescreen, fully 60 frames per second. I'm not sure how well that's coming across on the stream, but it's very, very smooth. 60 frames per second is the first step. We will eventually be doing like uncapped frame rates as well. But LOD was never, ever, ever designed with higher frame rates in mind. So doing 60 was a much easier and pretty damn good step in the right direction. Borderless, yes, borderless full screen. So here we've got the other new upscale that Zychronic sent me. So we've got the evergreen forest here. I never noticed this until we got it going in HD, but you can actually see, like, they've even got animations in the water in the background. Like, all kinds of just really, really small things that you can't even see on the PS1 because the resolution is so low.
The game
Walk
has a lot of
around.
detail that was unrealized on the PS1.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll pop into battle here in a little bit too. Oh, that is the world map. I don't get to actually play this game, I just work on it. I don't know where I'm going.
We've noticed.
We've got the path here where you fight Kamui. This looks pretty nice. The tree on the left looks really good here. You can see a little bit of
Don't ask
jaggedness
me what
on
happened with
the.
the lead. Don't ask. I don't.
So
I have no clue.
I don't think that this is anything related to you. I think this is just how they did the overlay geometry. We might have to do something to kind
This
of
was the
smooth that
only
out.
map that I did where it came out like this, so I just left it for now and moved on.
Yeah, I mean we've got plenty of time to work out the kinks.
There's not that many issues, all things considered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this is a really, really good like first cut. This part looks really good. The model does a really, really good job of upscaling the portals and stuff. And we haven't added support for upscaling the animated overlays yet, have we, Zychronix?
Nope, it just looks better because transparency
Right,
and
right.
sticking from the upscale backgrounds.
Yeah, like those even without being upscaled, like the light rays and stuff on their own just look so much better. Yeah, LRC, so basically the game uses a bunch of different frame rates depending on where you are. In the submaps where we are now, we've upped them to 60 already, but they would normally be 30. The world map is 20 frames per second. Battle is also 20, except sometimes it goes down to as low as 15 or 12, depending on how complex the effects are. Those are the intended frame rates. It's what the developers designed the game to run at. But yeah, we are working on upping everything to 60. We won't have 60 frames per second in battle for the next release because it's a really, really big job. That's going to be a release on its own, but we are going to do the rest of the game. Battle will come later. This
So
area
is 60
here looks...
FPS the limit, or will it be unlimited?
60 is the limit for now. We will eventually go back and rewrite everything properly to basically support just, you know, whatever frame rate you want to run at. This spot here looks really nice too.
Yeah, who needs to go outside now? Just go here.
Exactly. Sure, I'm gonna hit the world map here again sometime soon. Yep, there we go. And again, just for reference, this is what the original backgrounds look like. So there's a pretty big difference in the quality.
Can't wait to see this upscale.
Yeah, this will be really nice. I have a feeling that this will be something that the models are pretty good at doing. Just because it's kind of like smooth stonework and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that's big will turn out well. Anything that's too small does not work well because of the amount of pixels.
Right, yeah. J-Man001, some things are tied to frame time, correct? Yes, so the entire game is tied to the frame time. which is why it's been such a huge job to actually get everything working at 60. We are still working on the submaps, like the towns and stuff like that. Most of it is running at 60, but things like dart, walking are still 30. The reason being is that we have found that the LOD collision code basically just completely falls apart if you look at it wrong. When I up dart's movement to 60 frames per second, you'd like bump into a wall and get teleported to another map. Oh yeah, the snow does look really nice. Also, fun fact, actually I'm just going to exit out here and reload the save. The snow on submaps looks really, really nice too, and that is entirely because TFZ threw out the entire snow effect from retail and remade it from scratch. The snowflakes in retail weren't even circles, they were squares. And it was just super, super janky. Like, they basically like came down in like a few different columns on the screen with like super big gaps in between the columns and stuff, and it was just bad. Hey Devoid dude, how's it going? Yeah, shout out to TFZ. He put a lot of work into that. He's been putting a lot of work into all of the 60 frames per second updates and the OpenGL rendering in general. Ran the RB2 at 3 settings, didn't run very smoothly, but running the super ultimate uber great 8.8 runs smooth at 3.9. Yeah, so the RB2 uses software rendering, which is very, very slow. All of the rendering is done on your CPU. It doesn't use your graphics card at all. Whereas this new build that we're working on uses OpenGL, and all the rendering is done on the GPU. So, you know, while streaming on my laptop, like I'm getting like 110, 120 frames per second when I uncap the frame rate. And this is not even like actually, this is not even optimized yet, so. Skyrim's issue with running past 60 frames per second and having the animals shake and carts flop around. Yeah, basically like that. It just completely breaks down. So I am as far east as you can get in Canada. I'm in Nova Scotia. The others here are in various locations. Yeah, Drew is in Midwest. A couple of the others are in Eastern time zone. Icarus is somewhere in Europe, so it's like 3 in the morning there. He's just along for the ride. We are at some point in this stream going to actually start working on something very interesting. We are going to be working on some brand new maps, which you may have seen in the thumbnail for the video, and the title, obviously. X asks, can this project have true 16 by 9 wow, I can't talk right now. 16 by 9 widescreen without characters looking fat? So in the submaps right now, where we are right now, I have not implemented proper widescreen. But if we come out to the world map here, you can see this is native widescreen. No wideness or anything. If I make the window 4:3, you can see everything the exact same. You just can't see quite as much. And I will show off battle again now. So battle is where things are the roughest. We basically have it working, but have not put much work into it. But again, you can see whether it's in widescreen or not. There's no distortion or anything. And actually, we've got a very cool feature. We can go into free cam mode here.
I was
And
just going
take
to
a
ask
look.
if you're going to show that today.
I sure am. I always got to show off the free cam. We've always got new viewers.
Hell yeah.
Free game is
By the
good.
way, anyone who is a new viewer, if you are interested in this kind of thing and would like to see more, please do consider subscribing. We post content like this pretty often. I do a dev stream like this usually once a week, every Wednesday. Occasionally I'll skip it if I've got something that I need to do, or if I'm just not feeling like it that day. But yeah, most Wednesdays, same time. And we will occasionally post update videos showcasing new features and things like that. So yeah, if you want to see more, subscribe. You know, like the video. If you want to help us out, leave some comments on the video. All of it helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Yes, battle is not 60 frames per second yet. That will be coming in a future update. It's just too much work. It would cause a huge delay for us on this next release, and we really want to get the HD rendering out the door as soon as possible. We're planning on getting this release out in the first quarter of this year. We've got private test builds going on right now, and we will probably have some public test builds in the next few weeks. Depending on how things are going. The release after this, we're going to be focusing on the modding API and really expanding that so the modders can kind of just go crazy, you know, doing whatever they want. And then after that, we are likely going to do the 60 frames per second battle update. Yeah, free cam is really nice, especially when you pause it. Because I can do stuff like this. You know, I could pause it right now and pop into free cam while Dart is mid-transformation and get some camera angles that no one has ever seen before. And get the flame wings. I lost him. Where did you go, Dart? Oh, geez. There you are.
Will these static screen effects be fixed for free cam, or are they just going to be this way forever?
That's very tricky because they are rendered in a very different way than the 3D stuff. I will probably add a toggle to turn them off entirely for when you want to take screenshots and stuff. How did you get the free cam working? So long story short, it's actually sort of a convenient byproduct of the way I set up the rendering engine. So we use a pretty complicated algorithm called depth independent translucency in order to get translucent things to render correctly when they are on top of each other. That's a pretty big issue in rendering. It's not just like a Legend of Dragoon thing, it's just kind of like a fundamental problem with rendering things that are translucent. So we have some fairly complicated queues and algorithms and stuff, but those queues make it really easy to pause. Basically, we just pause the game engine, like we just stop running the game engine entirely, and just keep rendering what is already in the queue over and over again. So it lets us, you know, kind of just stop the engine and look at whatever we want. Oh, look at that. A lot of the retail animations are pretty janky, as you can see here. So this isn't a severed chains thing, this is just kind of one of those things with a 24-year-old game. let's take a look at Flame Shot. Where are you? There you are. I always pictured this fireball being a lot bigger based on like the camera angle, but it's actually pretty small. Also, Dart is kind of cut in half at the torso. That doesn't look comfortable. Also, this face just really, really makes me laugh. Oh.
You should get that checked out.
I think Dart should get this checked out. Again, not a Severed Chains issue. These are just the kinds of things that you don't notice at 320 by 240 on a CRT when you don't have free cam.
That's incredible. That's a screenshot right there for the Discord emoticon.
Yep. Yeah, he is really feeling it. We can do free cam even on the world map and stuff too. Camera is going to move super fast here because the world map is really small compared to battle. And I've got the movement set up for battle right now. But yeah, so you can see it's actually like a board, sort of like a war map. And we can get some pretty interesting angles that, you know, never seen before. Alright, Drew, you had a request for a battle. What was it?
Yes, Linus and Regol. ID master sheet. Encounter data.
Boy, I do not remember
397?
where. Oh yeah, I suppose we could just go into the fight. Well, that won't have the correct battle arena.
I think I have the battle
Undersea-
number.
I've got a save just outside of the undersea cavern, so
Okay, sure.
there we go. Yeah, I mean, Zanryu, you're probably not wrong. Just a science fair project or something.
I would say no special, just to get the full effect of the natural scenery.
Yeah, sure.
You can even give the party 0 speed so that, and Linus 0 speed so that Regol gets all the turns. That's pretty fun. Actually, now that I think about it, doing the speed trick is what led to the Regol rock music video that I shared before.
Oh yeah, that was really something.
I need to post that. There are so many fun things we've got to show you all this month. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming here. Also, fun fact, this is going to look really weird because only the models are going to move. If I can find them. There we go. So this is Linus's face here. Oh god. It's really hard to... Okay, we are inside Linus.
Family, community.
Camera movement is very fast. Okay, this is Linus's face. This is a retail issue. This is not Severed Chains. This is just how it is on the PlayStation.
Belongs next to Mappy.
Yep. Is it hard to put full-size character models into all situations of the game? We do have some soft plans to look into replacing all of the models with the battle models. We are definitely going to look into that, no promises, but it is something that we would like to do. We are also looking into fixing Linus's face, because, oh my god. No, they just messed up the texture. If we go in here, you can see it's totally fine. Yeah, they just messed up the texture for it. They've actually done that in a few other spots too. Like Claire in at least one of the flashbacks in Rouge, Claire's face is just like a gray bar. She has no facial features or anything. It's just like solid grayish blue. There's also somebody in I think it's the library in Leningrad whose chest is on his face and face is on his chest. Actually, we posted a picture of that somewhat recently. Can one of you guys dig through the Discord history and see if you can find that?
Sure.
Because it's really something.
There's another one in the Lavit's death scene where when the party starts shifting their view from the left to the right or something, their heads turn. Lavitz's like eyes and or mouth shift up, and it's on his forehead. It's really scary.
Alright, so Drew wanted to see Regal's wave attack.
He often
So-
opens with it.
We're just going to jack up everyone's hit points.
Set Regol's attack to 1, probably simpler.
We're just going to jack up the turn value and speed. Oh
lot of
yeah, I
memes
suppose
It's too much speed.
suppose I could set the attack to 1 and magic attack. Alright, so let's see if we can get it. What is this sound? Oh my god, it's happening again! Alright, so yeah, this is the effect that Drew wanted to see. It is a very big wave. Yeah, it does look really nice in widescreen.
Yeah, some of them just really stand out.
So it's
So there's definitely something going on with Regal's sounds. Gerald, it will render at whatever ratio you have the window set to. So, you know, we could do this and it just automatically resizes. Like no issues with any resolution. We can do ultra wide. How is the team making this project fully mod friendly? So basically, I've written a modding API. It is not very fully featured yet. It's still in the pretty early stages of development. But we've got a full mod loader, and I wrote a like basic development kit. So, all right, yeah. So let's stop this now, and I will just really quickly show the dev kit here. So this is the entire upscale mod. We've still got a little bit of work left to do on it, but like this is literally it. Um, so you define your mod class. You pick a mod ID. Has to be something unique. And then you just register yourself to listen for events. And we've got all kinds of events like this one right here. You just make an event handler, and you can do whatever you want in there. So like this one, for example, is this event sent off whenever the game is loading background textures. So you can use this, as you're seeing here, to just replace the texture with whatever you want to. So we're loading a PNG here. The upscale project just loads images from these folders. Very, very simple. We've got all kinds of different events. So if we look at the event hierarchy here, um, we've got ones for modifying monster stats. You can choose what items get returned to you as repeat items. You know, like anything that has repeat in the name. Enemy rewards, you can change the XP to level up characters. You can change shops, spells. Um, you can control whether or not items get taken away when the game tries to take items. Um, yeah, just all kinds of stuff really. And this is just like the really, really basic start. What we have here is basically just what we needed in order to get Zychronix's Dramod working. If you're unfamiliar, Dramod is well, it was a modding suite for emulators. Um, that version has been discontinued now, as it is being developed for separate chains. So basically, what it lets you do is change all of the game data using CSV files. So Zychronix has shipped various presets with Dramod. So there is the standard US retail stats, which is, you know, like the configuration for like basic gameplay on the US version of the game. But it also ships with stuff like Japanese preset and some interesting stuff like the US and Japanese demos, which in some ways differ pretty significantly from the fully released game. Um, different different shops, different rewards. Some enemies even have like different elements and very, very different stats. The big thing with Dramod though is hard mode. So Zachronix has done like a full rebalance of the game, made it much, much harder. And it's got some new features and stuff too. Zachronix, do you want to say anything about hard mode? I don't know
Wait
if
for hell
Zachronix is
mode.
still here. Oh
Sorry,
yeah, hell
I'm
mode
setting
too.
up the computer while I'm here.
That's all good. Did you want to say anything about hard mode and hell mode while we're on the topic?
Hell mode has level 7 dragoons, and you can use item magic
Right, right.
in dragoon
Yes.
form.
Yeah, so the Dragoon level cap is no longer 5 in hell mode. Um, so you get some extra spells that you can cast. Each character is able to cast a couple of item spells. Um, so what does Dart have, Zychronix? I assume Burnout.
Yeah, just burnout. It's only the single item spells for now until we fix the targeting,
Right, right.
because they're all hard coded still.
Yeah. And there's also some completely new features. Do you want to explain what burn stacks are?
So s- eventually, all dragoons will have their own special feature. So Dart has burn stacks, where the more MPUs, the more stacks you gain. Then you can use all your stacks all at once, and it'll increase the power of the next attack Dart does.
Do you have any other ones planned out yet, or do you want to keep that a secret until more work is done?
I'm implementing a taunt for Congo once we do the modding API
Oh,
for hell
that's
mode.
very interesting. So like it would basically work sort of like what is that
The
item?
charm, no, no, not the charm potion. That's the one that the pandemonium is the
Pandemonium,
one that,
yes.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Kongle tank. That's pretty interesting actually. I never thought of something like that. So hard mode is available right now for Sever Chain's recommended build 2 and 2.1. Hell mode is still in development. It will be available at some point in the future. Zychronix is also the person working on the upscale project, so he can only do so much at once. He also does a little bit of work on Severed Chains, so it's one of those things that'll be out when it's out. But there is development being done there. D-cardboard mod, yes. For anyone who has never noticed, it's a lot more noticeable in Severed Chains, unfortunately. Um, in a lot of maps where there is a lot of models on screen, some of them will be cardboard cutouts, basically. I can show that here really easily. So, for one, these two shopkeepers here are cardboard cutouts. You can see it when I talk to one of them and they kind of turn. Yeah. They're literally flat. And actually I can move one of them out here so we can see them easier. Just gotta figure out which one they are. There's one of them. Let's do the one with the lighter clothing. So zoop, move them out here. Say like 50. We'll move them a little forward on the x-axis or the z-axis too. And embiggen. So yeah, literally a cutout. So wherever possible, we plan to replace these with higher quality models. Not all of them have proper models, but there are a lot of them that do. Kongal is actually like one of the worst offenders of this. In like half of the scenes that Kongal's in, he is just cardboard. Like when you're on the Queen Fury, he's cardboard. Like sailing in at the end of Disc 3. In the inn in I don't remember the name of the town, Bueno or Fernie. I always get too mixed up. When you're in the inn, there he's cardboard. He's cardboard everywhere. Yeah, we can't have a stream without embiggening chocolate. Feel like I need to suffer. Bring on hard mode. Yeah, I mean you can play hard mode right now. It's fully released. Yeah, I think we've got links on the Severed Chains modding page on the legenddragoon.org site. And yeah, if you have any trouble setting it up or anything, feel free to just let us know in the chat and or in Discord, and we'll give you a hand setting it up. Looking like a low texture Doom PNG. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that scene is one of the worst. When everyone is getting together to like hunt down Kamui. So many of them there are like cardboard. And actually a lot of those are models used previously in the game. Like one of them is Drake the Bandit. Another few are actually from the hero competition in Lohan. So we're able to just basically take those models and swap them over. Pretty easily, actually. We have not done much unit testing. The reason being is that we are still very, very much not broken down into testable units. So this, for anyone who isn't aware, this is a reverse engineering project. So I have taken the actual retail game, ripped it off of the PS1 discs, and used a program called Ghidra to decompile it into assembly, and I have translated the assembly into what you see now. And of course, we now have quite a few people who are in the Discord call with me who are working on it. Not to, ignore anyone else's contributions to it. But yeah, so basically the code is structured in the same way as the assembly is, which is not very conducive to any kind of testing. But that is a big part of what we have been doing for the past year or so now, is like rewriting huge portions of the code while maintaining functionality in order to break it up into smaller pieces. Like when we started, we literally had like many classes that were well over 20,000 lines of code. And it's the point where your IDE like struggles to even display the file. But yeah, we're getting into a much better place now. Like in the past few weeks, we've pulled like something like 6,000 lines of code out of the submap class. So, welcome, Huntario. Yes, it is a very, very beautiful cardboard cutout. This is the item shop person. I think it's the item shop person. Yeah. We're just kind of showing what kind of things we'll be able to improve with Severed Chains. These people are also cardboard cutouts. There's another cardboard cutout hidden back behind this cardboard cutout. And of course, this is all done for performance reasons because, it was running on a PS1. They had to make some concessions. Only so much they can do. We, fortunately, do not have those limitations. You know, like this entire game was designed to run on 2 MB of RAM. Um, and you know that includes the PlayStation BIOS and kernel, as well as the standard libraries that they use. So, yeah, they had to make some pretty serious concessions. SEO is involved so much that it feels like easily the definitive way to play to experience LOD. I need to bring this monitor closer to me. I can barely read the chat. Yeah, that's really what we're shooting for here. Especially after we put out this new release with the HD rendering and everything. You know, it's such a huge difference. And to be clear, everything you're seeing here, aside from what we showed off with the upscale project earlier, this is all 100% retail. Like, this is actually just how good the models look. It's just, like, you know, completely neutered by the PS1. Is there any PS1 bits left in the code? Kind of. So we started off this project with the game itself was not running in emulation, but we had a full hardware emulation layer, so that the game could talk to the computer in a way that basically looked enough like a PS1 for it to work. So, you know, we had like a GPU emulator, a sound emulator, CD-ROM emulator, controller emulators, everything. At this point, we don't really have any of that left. And actually, a few weeks ago, I did remove the last part of that, which was the memory emulation layer. So we now are running like 100% native with none of the emulation layer left. Yeah, I agree too. I think this is definitely a golden age, and especially once we get the modding API more finished, and you know, we get people coming in making mods, adding new content, etc., etc. We're really going to see an explosion here. Right now, the only fully released mod that we have is Zychronix's hard mode. Well, draw mod with the difficulty settings and game presets and hard mode. And we did have a new modder come in a couple of days ago and start working on a mod that allows you to adjust your experience and gold rewards. That's a small mod, but you know, I imagine a lot of people will make great use of that, whether you want to make the game easier or harder. Inc. just released a alpha version of something that he's working on, Iron Goon. Inc., do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the mod is called Iron Goon, but we're a few releases away before that can be realized. So right now the mod is just a glorified stat randomizer for character stats and enemy stats. I think it only works in the latest main build, so it doesn't work with RB2 yet. I don't think it ever will work with RB2, but yeah, it's out there if people want to play it.
Yeah, so that, if you want to try that out, you would need to use the dev builds. Is that right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the dev builds are also available on our GitHub here. So if you go to the Git repository, you'll see releases on the right side here. And if you come in here, you can get RB2, or you can get the latest development build. This is going to be a little bit less stable. There are some known issues here because it is a development build. This is always like, as soon as we push new code, this immediately automatically gets built and released. So this is always like 100% up to date with what we're working on. Aside from the OpenGL stuff, which we are doing on another branch because it's still not really fit for use even in dev builds. That said, we are doing some private testing. So if anyone is interested in getting their hands on it, pop into our Discord server and yeah, send either myself, Monoxide, or Drew Universe a message. Icarus also has a stat randomizer released. Icarus, do you want to talk about that a little bit? If you haven't fallen asleep yet.
So no, I didn't get. So it was really old once. I just want it to work with the drum mode. Just hard mode and start run was that's it. Not complex as Iron Gun, which I didn't test yet.
So yeah, it basically swapped characters' stats in between each other, right? So whenever you used a character, every time you leveled up, you would just get randomly instead of like Dart having his own stats, every time he leveled up, he would get stats from a different character. So he might have Kongol's stats or Shanna's stats. You kind of never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's basically it.
But yeah, so I think that's it for the mods that we have available now. But yeah, once we finish the OpenGL update, we are going to be like going full steam ahead with the modding API. And we've got some pretty big plans. So the ultimate goal is actually to be able to turn off the entire Legend of Dragoon, like the entire campaign, and load up an entirely new campaign that a modder has made. Like new world map, new submaps, new battles, everything. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of total conversion mods like that, but that is our goal for the API. Basically allowing modders to change any part of the game that they want. And we've already done quite a bit of that. We've got some significant work done on being able to add new items and spells to the game. And recently we have been working on being able to add entirely new maps. So I'm going to play a quick video that Icarus sent me earlier. So really, is it not going to play because I'm streaming? Hold on, I might have to open it on Discord.
What the heck app are you using?
That's just the regular Windows player.
Gotta get VLC or something on there.
Yeah, man, VLC.
I play videos like once a year.
Yeah, you don't play videos, you play video games.
I don't even play video games. I make video games. You don't get to play video games when you make games. The last time that I completed a Legend of Dragoon playthrough was probably like 10 years ago. The closest I've gotten was watching you on our playthrough stream last year. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, so this is a completely custom map and cutscene that Icarus made earlier today. So very short, very sweet. But this is like entirely new tech. Um, and you know, we're just scratching the surface here.
I bet that puts Dart in the mood.
Family friendly, Drew.
You are the one who made that comment about Linus. Oh my god.
But yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
This wasn't a new map. I just used one of the broken ones. I stored the files just so it's not actually a new map.
So you lied
Okay.
to us. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're getting we are getting very close to being able to add entirely new maps. So that is a modded map, but with completely custom scripting for the cutscene. So this is something that we've recently sort of developed our way into being able to do. It's not something that has ever been possible before in Legend of Dragoon, whether it's for uh, emulator or severed chains. Um, Scripting was very much a black box. That was just sort of something that we knew was there, but could not interact with in any way. But we're recently, as of recently, now able to decompile and edit scripts and recompile them, which is a very big thing. And I have been working on um, rewriting all of the submap code so that we can make fully new maps. That's a very big thing. And I think it might be interesting to try try out the model swapping that I have recently added. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to jump into one of the debug rooms. If you didn't know, there's multiple debug rooms in the game. Some of them have different character models.
Someone
So
should make a
we've,
video about it.
yeah, someone should.
Hmm.
So we've got Shauna, Rose, and we even got Dart in Dragoon form. So I think that we should grab this Dart model and see if we can't uh, put him into a different map. Yeah, Garrett, I'm like 108% sure that somebody is going to make that mod as soon as it is possible. Yeah, yeah, Icarus has been putting a ton of work into researching the maps and scripting and stuff to make all this stuff work. So we need to first identify where these files are being loaded from. So we're looking at Dragon 22, and it's going to be one of these maps here. I think 18. We'll pop this open in a hex editor. That is not a model. Oh no, this wouldn't be the model. The model would be in 17, right, right. This should be the model here. Yep, we got a C container with a TMD in it. Whoops. Why? Okay. So, now that we've got that, we will, I'm going to just reload. Oh yeah, we added a quick game feature as well, which is really nice for doing stuff like this. We'll reload this here and see what map we're dealing with here. Oh, this is the mod. Here we go. These should be the models. So Dragon 3 and 393. Those are the scripts. Let's just pop back here. We are looking for textures. 392, 392. Okay, we are in the right spot. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a shot in the dark here, but we're just going to try overwriting. I am going to open up this texture in a viewer just so we can take a quick look at it first. I did that backwards, didn't I? Yes, I copied regular Dart into Dragoon Dart. So 1 sec. We'll just grab that
This
from
is
a
the
different
best part of the
spot.
stream.
Oh yeah, definitely. Payoff should be good though. We'll hope the payoff's good. Okay, so
Will
we've
it
got
Hard
crack?
luck, basically.
so we've got Dragoon Dart here now, and we're going to replace these, and we will open up the texture. Yep, that is Dragoon Dart. In here and paste. And let's see if it explodes. It might explode. We're in uncharted territory. Look at that. And you actually fly if you run.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So all of that work actually paid off. And God, was it a lot of work to get this into a place where we could just copy and paste stuff. Alright, in beginning part 2, let's take a look.
That's a Twitter picture right there, Drew.
Oh, it
No
crashed
kidding.
because we went into the idle animation. Dart doesn't have an idle animation there.
He's too strong for an idol.
Yeah, I'm just going to make a quick change here so it doesn't crash. What are we looking at here? Properties, transforms, right there. Okay, that's easy. Form 0 dot length. And that will stop it from crashing, but it is going to cause some weird issues with the model when Dart tries to go into his idle animation. All right, so we've got Dart again. I'm just going to let him go into his idle animation so we can see how wonky this gets. Oh, come on. Oh, this is a different spot. Okay. We just need to do the same thing here. There might be a couple of spots where this is needed, hopefully not. Yeah, so we are working on the ability to add brand new maps to Severed Chains. And as you can see, we're also doing some fun stuff like getting Dart as a Dragoon and being able to walk around. Yeah, I'm just gonna let him go into idle again. See if it works this time. Almost.
So clearly this means we have to give him a custom impatient foot tapping animation in Dragoon form, right?
Yeah, we've really got to get to a point where we can make the animations apply to different models. But the problem with that is that Legend of Dragoon is not set up with like the models aren't set up with like bones or anything like that. Um, it's just like, you know, oh, there we go. So there is regular Dart's idle animation applied to Dragoon Dart. All right, let's embiggen this by a few times.
Release it just like that.
All right, here we go. Yeah, you actually fly when you're running, which is pretty cool.
Watch his head when it goes idle.
I will get his head back on screen.
Drew, I think we found Daddy.
We did.
Yep.
It's
That sure
upside
is something.
down.
Let's get a little closer to the camera here. Yeah, that looks uncomfortable. I wonder what'll happen if we slide off here.
To be fair, the foot is trying to tap, so it's part of the way there.
It's trying to live.
Monitis strikes again. Yep. So yeah, as I was saying, there's no like the models aren't like rigged or anything like that. It's just like rotate this object, like rotate this part number by like X degrees, move this part by X degrees, and you know, there's no like this is an arm, this is a leg. That makes it pretty tough. So, you know, one way or another, if we want to make the animation swappable, we're basically going to have to go through like every single model and like say this is what this part is, this is a hand, this is a leg, this is an arm, etc., etc. Oh, also anybody who wasn't here earlier, we showed off a bunch of new backgrounds from the upscale project. So this is a brand new upscale from Zychronics. We've got this whole area done. He kindly gave us this preview here. He sent it over to me earlier today. Looking very, very nice compared to the originals. Yeah, eat this. Anybody who hasn't watched our Christmas video that we uploaded on Christmas Eve should definitely go watch that, because that was another big project that Drew, Icarus, and I kind of crammed to get together, and it's pretty great. Zonryu, we haven't done any more work on No Dart yet. Unfortunately, that is a little lower on the priority list. It's very likely that we will be fixing that with RB4 when we do the major modding updates, because we may even be making it so that you can add new characters to the game, or add certain characters who people have wanted to play as for a very long time. Walking animation's a little bit janky. Feet aren't really attached, legs aren't really attached. That's all stuff that can be fixed. You know, hint hint.
Doom. Icarus.
I will say no more on that subject. Well, you can still play at lower resolutions if you prefer to. Zychronics, I'm sure, will also be adding some godforsaken CRT shaders and stuff, because that's just the kind of person he is.
It even looks good with the upscale project. I don't know why everyone's complaining about the screen door filter I'm going to make eventually.
Yeah. Zychronics is absolutely going to be making some filters that make it look very, very nice. Very retro.
I mean, that is how I played on RetroArch with the CRT Royale shader. That's the best way to play it on emulator.
Gonna have to replace text. Yeah, we do plan on making it so that modders can also retranslate the game. Not only just, adjusting the current translations, but also adding entirely new ones that, like, languages the game was never shipped in. That's gonna be a pretty big project too. But, I think it will be very, very worthwhile. We already have a translation framework in place, so you can see like all of the configurations, all the config options are already set up to be translated. So like that's where all of the text in the menus comes from. It's going to be a tough job because all of the game dialogue is encoded in the script files. So we basically need to like add a completely new like text box system to the game. But yeah, we are going to definitely make it so that all of the text in the game can be changed. Biblically accurate dart, yeah. Yeah, the translation stuff may be coming in the modding update that we'll be doing. Not 100% sure on that because, as I said, it is going to be a really, really tough thing to do. But yeah, it's definitely one of the things that we want to do earlier, like sooner than later, because it's really, really great for accessibility. We've got a lot of players from all over the world, so we want everybody to be able to play and enjoy the game. Even in regions where they never got like an official translated release. Can I play as Frugal so I can kill Levitz again in that Wingly Purgatory Soul Machine? What is a Wingly Purgatory Soul Machine?
The engine in Mayfill.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine playing as Frugal, but then
You
you
know
have to
what?
fight ghost habits?
You know what? If you want to make a mod for that, you are free to.
That is the game's quote, after all. We're here to sever the chains of fate that bind us.
You are free to sever the innards of Levitz, I guess. The innards that bind you.
It'd be pretty cool, though. I mean, he's already got 2 pets. You could have a pet leveling system.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I condone this. Oh, also there's already somebody in the modding channel who's talking about making a Pokemon mod for this, so there's that. He wants to make it so you can catch enemies and collect them. That's gonna be a very, very, very big job, but oh yeah, there you go. In the chat right now.
It would be pretty great to finally get some revenge and like be able to use the salamander on enemies so you could stun lock them like they did to you.
Yeah, that would be nice. What's up, Denny? Yeah, so he wants to make basically a Pokemon mod, or they want to make basically a Pokemon mod, and yeah, you'd be able to catch enemies and yeah, I don't know if there's any plans for training them and stuff, but at least collecting them. You want to be Zach? Well, we've got lots of requests here. And
After my own heart with that one. It's got blood magic and everything.
I mean, like, the moves and stuff are already made, which, you know, alleviates a lot of the work. There is some weirdness in the LOD engine that would mean we'd have to overhaul some stuff. Like, you know, for whatever reason, there's like considerable overlap between what the game considers like an item and a spell and like status items, and it's just like enemy attacks. It's super weird, and who a attack targets is like hard coded. So if you use like an enemy spell, for example, even if it's like Dart using it, it'll still attack the party even if you select the enemies. I don't know why they did it that way, but you know, they did. And so now it's up to us to you know, overhaul that and make it work, because you know, obviously we're going to make it work. How to beat the game becomes Pokemon. Good question. You gotta catch them all, and otherwise Melbuframa will not recognize you as a Pokemon master, and give up on his desire to take over the world. Yeah, once we had the ability to add new characters, I am very, very much looking forward to what kind of shenanigans people are going to come up with, as well as once we finalize adding new maps, which we were originally planning on starting to work on a new map today on the dev stream, but we've kind of just been chatting and messing around. But yeah, I mean, it's these features are definitely coming, and you know, not in the all too distant future. That idle animation. Can't stop looking at it. Ink. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't do it. Imagine having a team that you've had for 11,000 years, then some kid in red armor beats you with a team he's had for a few weeks.
I think the lore is like 2 years from start to finish of the game, or is it just a year?
I actually have no idea. Drew, do you have any insight on that?
What's the question?
How
How
long?
how wide of a time span does Legend of Dragoon take place over?
So there's no exact time frame, because the game,
Ballpark?
when it does refer to time, it's usually in years.
Mhm.
7 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. But a couple people have tried to theorize. One person's estimating about a year. There are one or two cases where the game mentions like a week of time, somewhere around the Divine Dragon stuff going on. And if you take that and kind of extrapolate the distance of those two areas and then weigh it against the distance of all the other areas, it comes out to roughly a year. But there's no real way to say. It could be a couple months, it could be a lot of months. Ironically, we have a much better idea of the time frame of the game's development, which started in February of 1996, and then was kind of on standby for a few months, and then picked up again mid-1996 until December of 99.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think new content from modders is like the #1 thing that I'm really looking forward to. Because it's gonna I just from seeing things that people have modded in other games, like, you know, I know right off the bat it's just gonna be pretty mind-blowing.
We already have some teasers coming to LOD fans this month. I will be teasing a certain kind of mod that we have never shown before.
I don't even know what this is.
Technically you do, but yeah.
If it's what I think it is, it's very big.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got one of the people working on it in the chat now. Or at least one of the people affiliated with it.
Suffice to say, the at least couple of pre-recorded videos we'll be uploading to YouTube this month will already be pretty shocking.
Yeah, we've got some really fun stuff, very cool things planned for videos. Anyone in the chat who's not subscribed to the channel, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, you want to see more, please do subscribe. We've got a lot of very cool stuff coming, and if you wouldn't mind, like the video, comment on it, helps us out a lot.
Yeah, help us fight the algorithm, please.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle. Might as well come back through here because there's a lot of people watching now who weren't here earlier. So this is brand new upscaled backgrounds from Zychronics. He sent them over to me earlier today. Hot off the press. So we've got these as well as the snowfield that we were in earlier. Very nice upscales. These are 8x resolution, so they would look best on a 4K monitor. The newer version of Severed Chains that we're working on right now, that's what we're showing off here. It supports full high definition, native widescreen, 60 frames per second. You're playing on a 4K TV or monitor. You know, the game will be in 4K, 1080p, whatever. We support various different, well, basically any resolution that you can put the game into for the widescreen. We are not in a widescreen area right now because these maps use pre-rendered backgrounds, but if I come out to the world map, if I can find it, I think it should just be right below me. You can see this is native widescreen, native 1080p, and if I make it small, super wide, you know, it runs in super wide as well. Whoops, I dragged that way too far into my other monitor. Yeah, you can play it in any resolution, any aspect ratio, renders natively. Looks very nice, especially the 60 frames per second. We are going to be releasing the upscale sometime after the next release of Severed Chains comes out, which will be the first quarter of this year. That's what we're shooting for. I'm just wandering around in the forest here, show this off a little bit, because some very nice work. Zychronics has been working on the upscale along with the Flying Zamboni for the past couple of years at least, off and on. They were originally targeting emulators, but it was just too slow, too laggy in RetroArch. The person who added the upscale texture support just kind of did the bare minimum that they needed and never really touched it again. So, you know, it was really slow, really laggy. There was some textures that it just couldn't upscale as well. That is not an issue in Severed Chains. Performance is excellent. I am playing on a laptop with integrated graphics, while streaming to YouTube, not even breaking a sweat. No issues whatsoever. We looked at the task manager earlier. Severed Chains was using between like 5 and 10% CPU and like 10% GPU. So, you know, not even breaking a sweat. X, are you also from Nova Scotia? Because there's actually a few of us in the Discord server. Yeah, this is one of the...
Uncanny.
It is pretty uncanny. Actually, there's a disproportionate amount of Canadians working on Severed Chains. I don't know if it just was like super popular in Canada compared to anywhere else, but like half the Severed Chains team is Canadian.
Yeah, looking at the rough fandom total, like obviously most of it is in the USA, and then the second largest group is probably Canada, and so I'd say maybe 2/3 to 1/3 at best. And then there's so many Canadians.
Yeah, and of course, like, you know, Canada's, like, as a proportion of Canada's total population, like, there's cities that are, like, the size of Canada. Population-wise, obviously, not geographically speaking.
That's a large city.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, this is one of the areas that looks very, very nice with the upscale. The teleporter in the background. Yeah, we did. The sunbeams casting light through the canopy. Just all around. Looks super great. And yeah, just for comparison, this is what the regular unupscaled backgrounds look like. You know, as soon as we come through here, it's just a huge, huge difference. Very stark change.
We're lucky they got as much detail as they did with the old sub maps. There's just enough that we can actually make them look extra nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I bet Shrine of Shirley will look pretty amazing too with all of those light rays and the water.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty good just on its own. I think Psychronix has already done some work there. I recall seeing upscales of that maybe in the past. Psychronix, if you're still here, have you done any work on Shirley's Shrine?
That would be TFC, because I'm only doing disc 3 and 4.
Right. That's TFC's jurisdiction.
Right.
Yeah, so the total size of the upscale is actually going to be like Psychronix is estimating around 20 gigs. So we're going to release it on a like disc by disc basis. So, you know, if you want to try it out, you could download just like disc 1 or whatever disc you're on. There's also going to be the option of downloading some less upscaled backgrounds. So like instead of 8 times, you could do like 2 times or 4 times. You know, like 8 times is great for 4K. But if you're not playing in 4K, you know, you might as well use like the 4X or something, and it'll be, you know, much smaller, a lot easier to download.
I mean, I might even show off the whatever the lightest package ends up being, just to show how good it still looks even at that reduced resolution.
Yeah. Even with the 2X, like the difference is pretty amazing. Yeah, we've got a lot less textures than something like Skyrim. We do also plan on shipping things like the maps and battle separately, just so you can kind of like pick and choose what you want to use. And we'll also have options here that let you, turn off what's installed if you do want to, switch back to the regular textures for whatever reason. Yeah, such a crazy difference here. We'll go back to the snowfield and show that off again too. Lloyd waiting patiently for us while we wander around and do nothing. What were you gonna say, Drew?
Oh, it's kind of too late now. I was gonna say that was a perfect opportunity to show the depth changes you made, where Dart can actually run behind mountains instead of just like flat on top of them, kind of a thing.
Right, yeah. You know what? We'll go back and show that off here real quick.
It is pretty cool.
So, long story short, the world map in the regular game is very, very janky. I'm pretty sure that they did the things that they did just because of how low the resolution was, and it was very, very difficult to see things at 320 by 240. But if you look at the regular game, like if you're playing on an emulator or something, you'll actually see that everything is on top of the ground. Like completely on top of it. You can see right here, like I'm walking in behind this mountain. That is not a thing that can happen normally. Like it basically just like looks like you're on top of the mountains no matter what, even though you're not. And if you like look at Leningrad, for example, it's not actually like tucked in behind this mountain, even though it is. Like the mountain would be underneath of it, even though it should be in front of it. So,
Okay.
for me, this looks much, much nicer. Especially in high resolution, it just looks super, super janky.
I've got our new slogan that'll bring everybody in. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
The Legend of Dragoon, now in 3D
I mean,
on the world map.
kinda. Now in proper 3D. We also obviously don't have the wobbliness or anything like that of the original game, but that's something that emulators can do as well. That's not really anything to write home about.
All right, if it's gonna be proper, then we've got to get Dart a top hat mod and a monocle.
I'm sure hats will be something that someone does.
Hat mod. We need to do hats.
The first
have all kinds of different
microtransactions in
caps.
Sever Chains.
We have headgears. Make the thing for them. And there's lots of NPCs with hats, like especially in Leningrad, they're wearing these caps that like match their clothing.
It's true.
It's the whole thing.
We can add a hat shop to every town.
There's gonna be like a hat revolution. Like you save the world, and it's like, hey, we could all wear hats now. Let's do that now that we're not at a threat.
Yep.
The things you can do when Soa's not knocking on your door anymore. You could start selling tickets with the backside front and the front side back.
Yep, the entire purpose of this project, adding hats to the game.
Look, it's cold. He's cold. Look at him. He's waiting for you to give him the hat. You see that?
Yeah.
Don't be mean, Pino. I'm sorry. I'm a little sorry.
You're not sorry.
It's true.
Zychronix, Jayhawk is asking if the world map textures will be upscaled.
He might be away.
Yeah, he's been pretty busy. I'm not sure if he's still here.
I know. If
go
I
ahead.
may, I can say that whether he does it or not, anyone doing it, they may run into challenges just because the world map texture in particular is incredibly low res. It's just a bunch of blurs for the most part.
Yeah.
But there's some things you could do with it, and I personally would like to help advocate for, if not work on, a total terrain mod, because if you look at the world map that Monoxide is now showing, a lot of
Let's
the
go to
area
free cam
is
here.
flat, except for the mountain stuff and the location stuff as well. But there's a lot of flat area, and I would like to kind of contour that and round it out a bit, so there's some, hills and cuts into the terrain, so it's more 3D, and just give it complete HD texturing. Like,
Yeah,
this thing
you
needs a
can
complete
see.
overhaul.
Yeah, you can really see while we're looking at it here. Like, you can see the pixels very clearly. It's super low res. Like,
It's
look at the
only
mountains right here.
it's only suitable for original PS1 viewing. So it's so low res that, although it'd be more work, I hope that we can get a small team together that can just knock out some terrain stuff and make it be completely revamped.
Yeah, it'd also be nice to get some unstretched textures on the borders of the world map too, because they're pretty rough.
Yeah, even just tiling that would be a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like stretched super wide and looks kind of awkward.
It is a
Again,
cool concept, though. Like, it looks like a picture of a map, like a picture frame, but realized as like a real thing.
yeah, sort of like a war table, which I
Yeah,
think is what they were going for.
we did it before Dragon Age.
Yep. That being said, the actual locations are pretty nice. There's a lot more detail than you can really see when you're looking at it in retail.
Yeah, the rocks that are floating for the mini model of the Valley of Corrupted Gravity, the little wingly huts in the trees for the wingly forest.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, the Valley of
for how
Corrupted
much
Gravity
they had to
is really nice.
for how much they had to compress it down to be so tiny and like low res, they really made it work.
Yeah, and oh yeah, so I came back here to show off the other upscale that Zychronic sent me earlier today. So he finished the full snowfield here. You can see these are all upscaled backgrounds. You can really see the detail and like the snow on this little archway here or whatever it is. Come into the cave here. Lots of detail on all the ice in the background. You can really see the difference. And funny enough, this was actually the very first map that we showed off in upscale, like probably about a year ago. Back when we were still using the software renderer, and it did not look good at all because it was still very low resolution at that point. But not the case now. It's looking very nice. We've got all this area done here too. Anyone wondering, we were messing around with getting Dart in here with his in his Dragoon form. Being able to walk around on the maps as a Dragoon is very cool. We go down here. Oh, right. So the game does not have animations for Dart slide off that, so I'm just gonna restore this to the original. Just give me 1 second, and I will restore the original model.
Someone's asking about the field around Velweb to not be as snowy because there's not really much snow there when you get to Velweb itself. That is an interesting idea. If it's kind of a desolate location, if you will.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. That and around the volcano near Leningrad. All right, fire this back up. We should be normal dart again. Yes, we are. Yeah, if we come down here, we've got some very, very nice textures here too. So much extra detail.
Did you head down to Magride yet, or did you avoid it? I don't remember.
Not yet.
Oh, it's probably because you would have to run into Poulter. Is the snowball still huge?
No, that was just for the video, unfortunately.
That was a signature Drew edit just for that occasion. But
Yeah.
you have the power to do that yourself in Severed
I do.
Chains.
You can embiggen as you see fit by pressing F12 to open up the debugger, and then going in here and going to submap. So for example, you can use the alert icon to see who you have selected, and you can change the scale. You can make big dart, you could make small dart, you could make a certified wide boy. The swagger. He's kind of reminding me of a Goomba from Super Mario. Oh yeah, this is why this is the entire purpose of this project.
Jeez. Between
why would you ever play anything else?
Between her request to play as Zackwell and the snowball mention, Allison is now my favorite LOD fan. I have no idea who you are, but you're my favorite LOD fan. You hear me?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So basically, I just checked. It's hard to tell because if there's a model currently on screen, you can change the size and immediately see the size change. But if the model is not currently on screen, like the snowball is like hiding until it's thrown, I just basically embiggened. I increased the size of like every object on the scene until I found that one, and it became a giant snowball boulder, or snolder as I call it.
Yeah.
Add in Frugal sound effect, and there you go.
Here's another very nice upscale. You can see so much detail on the stone in the background. Very, very good work. What did I just get there?
Probably a Midnight Terror.
Yeah, probably.
Which, although no one ever needs to use the item, it's pretty useless. It has some really nice sound effects.
It does.
Just these, like, harrowing voices going, oh, it's really cool.
Yeah, we can have a quick fight against Poulter.
That's a bad idea. Take my playthroughs as evidence. You don't want to do that. You'll either crash 3 times in a row, or you'll accidentally use Rose special without even realizing how dumb that is.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting fight. That was where we found out that there's actually the old hacks with what's it called? The expanded inventory hack for
Yeah.
the mod that you can install for retail. That actually is bugged, and no one ever ended up noticing.
That bug was awful. Oh my god. And then when I finally defeated Poulter, it was like too fast. I think I overkilled with Miranda. And she got insta-killed from the sword.
Yeah. It's not as crazy as the last Kraken fight, though.
New question. I noticed they changed Dart's sword in later cutscenes. Could you make the sword you get from this fight be on him when it's equipped?
That's
so
a
basically,
very good question.
in the first place, we're already planning to allow when possible, custom weapon models. So whichever one you have equipped, that one will have its own model, kind of a thing. Doom Metal has already done a concept in Blender with the Pretty Hammer. It's actually what I believe to be an official illustration with very high certainty. There are illustrations for all of the weapons and consumable items and accessories. So whether you base it on those or just make up your own custom weapons, we're going to try and throw those in.
Yeah, so also interesting to say is that we already have swapped in new weapon models. I don't think we're ready to show that yet, are we, Drew?
No, let me do the other video first, please.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting out some videos, or a video about that somewhat soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Actually, we'd have to manually cut it in there, so it would be some work, but theoretically we could also pull Dart's beta sword, which is a remnant accidentally left over in the game from his Divine Dragoon transformation. Some people have asked about that in the past, and that's technically something we could do.
Yeah, interesting enough, there's a few maps where Dart actually uses his beta model too. Like the map where you're escaping Helena on the horseback as they're raising the drawbridge. Those models are actually all beta models. Dart and the rest of them look very, very different than they do in the rest of the game. But yeah, this is a very cool sword, and it would be very cool to do a mod to swap in the sword after you get it. Also, Poulter is very, very detailed. Looks very cool. Aside from this shoulder in particular. The battle models are so much more detailed than any other ones, and yeah, we do definitely want to experiment with swapping them in to the rest of the game. And there are actually even higher quality models that they use in some of the cutscenes. Like for example with individual fingers instead of Lego hands, and higher quality weapons for some of the characters like Kongol in the cutscene after you defeat him for the first time.
Yeah, particularly the Lavit's death scene in Helena, they have very well made, in my opinion, individual fingers for hands for Lavitz and Dart when Lavitz is trying to grasp Dart's hand. Like, nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that at that time period. Not in the in-engine stuff. Maybe a FMV at best.
Yeah, yeah. Ironbird asks what he's hopping into, or what they're hopping into. So this is Severed Chains. We are working on a major update right now to update it to HD graphics, widescreen, native widescreen support, and 60 frames per second, among other things. If you're unfamiliar with the Severed Chains project as a whole, it is a reverse-engineered PC port of the game we've been working on for a little over 3 years now. So it is a full native port of Legend of Dragoon for the PC. No emulation at all. J-Man wants to know if we know whose armor this is. Drew, do you have an answer for that?
Whose armor? Who is?
Poulter.
Zero information as far as I know. If anything, there might be something in the Taiwanese Mandarin guidebook, so I could look at that tomorrow. That could be a thing I do. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting.
Probably nothing, but I will look.
Yeah,
there is a lot of extra info on a lot of other characters, however. I will actually link you to the old lesser-known facts page that we never finished, but still has a lot of extra info from places like the JP, the Japanese guidebook. So I'll give you that link.
Was not ready for that. I can never do additions under pressure. I swear to God, I'm better at doing them in severed chains.
Just do it. Do it.
It doesn't help that I never actually get to play the game because I'm always working on it. This is actually looking pretty good in OpenGL now. I didn't realize that this effect was rendering this well. Wow! I might be under-leveled on this save.
Lol.
So we're just gonna pop into the debugger here. And just pretend this isn't happening right now. Yeah, let's use an Angel's Prayer on Albert. Oh, it's absolutely a skill issue. No question about it. Oh yeah, we do absolutely plan on adding many different accessibility features, like the ability to control how difficult the game is, for example.
You can already change the color of the edition guide markers, which can help in places like the snowfield where it's like a bright or bluish background, and then you've already got the light blue for the guide. You can change that to a stark red for contrast, so you can more easily check the timings if that's what you use.
Yeah, battle is where we've done the least amount of work so far on converting things over to OpenGL. So you will see a lot more stuff here that isn't rendering than elsewhere in the game. Let's pop a Dragoon and see how things look. Let's go into free cam here. Albert, you're very bright. He looks upset.
Is a nerd.
He looks upset. Are you still sad about Levitz?
Do we need an Albert sad face sticker to go with the Lavitz one?
Yes.
It wouldn't mean anything. He would just have no head. A question: have we done high resolution, I'm guessing texture work on Virage? I guess that'd be a question for Zychronics. I don't know if monsters are part of the 3D model texture improvement, but it would definitely be on the playable characters at least. We'll have to check on that.
Yeah, as far as I know, they are planning on doing the monsters and stuff too. I don't know if there's been any work done on that yet. And I'm also not saying that 100% because I'm not actually part of the F-Scale project. I'm just working on making it possible.
As Dart said, we're all in it together.
Exactly. Oop.
Rude. Death.
Oh, this is unfortunate.
You're getting roasted.
Yeah. If
Oh,
only I
look,
was.
look kind of trippy.
If only I was actually paying attention.
Because the rays and Dancing Ray were missing, it just like looked like a bunch of little fireworks popping off on the ground. And now the only surviving party member is the one that's weak to magic.
He'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Don't say things I said that got me into trouble.
What's the worst that could happen?
I literally said I'm not giving up, and the game crashed in like a nanosecond, okay? Don't say those things.
I've got a combat debugger. I can do what I want.
God.
Just keep doing regular attacks. Yeah, this is, you're seeing one of the accessibility options here, which is automatic Dragoon editions. You can also enable automatic regular editions. In the future, we will also be making it so that you can change the difficulty of the editions as well. So not only could you make them like a little bit easier by increasing the timings for them, you could also make them harder if you want to. And we do actually have some difficulty options built in right now, like the ability to completely turn off the edition guards. So you basically have to do them like by memory.
So the nice thing about these kind of accessibility things is, fun fact, a lot of us are in our 30s now and have families, and that means kids.
And wrist issues.
So yes, aside from the wrist issues for a second. So you have kids. If you have kids, then you could show them this game, and normally, you know, a 4-year-old probably isn't going to do additions. But you could just turn on the automatic editions so that they can actually get through the game and try it out. Like, I don't know if this game's actually suitable for a 4-year-old. Don't quote me on that, but you get the idea. Anybody who may have trouble with it. And then when they get older and they're like, you know, a pro gamer kind of a thing, you can be like, hey, remember that game I showed you when you were younger? What if I told you that those attacks were actually, you know, interactive and you could push buttons live during the strikes to try and earn all the combo? Then their eyes get all wide and be like, why didn't you tell me? I could just see that whole story unfolding in somebody's house.
Definitely.
I want to try. Give me the controller.
Let's take a look at this dragon.
Oh, it's my favorite dragon summon. It's kind of more ominous without the effects in the background.
Kinda reminds me of a fish. One of those fancy fish.
A flying space fish?
Okay, yes, a fish with rocket engines.
Just like
Allow me to amend my previous statement.
The upper body is really cool. Like, you have the head that just like extends off into forever, like farther than a xenomorph, you know? And these engine pods, which are present on more than one dragon. Like, there's also some weird stuff going on with the Darkness Dragon.
Yeah, so for anyone who isn't aware, Soa, the god in Legend of Dragoon, is actually like an alien from some kind of spacefaring civilization who was put in charge of this planet. So maybe these dragons are actually like modeled after their spaceships or something.
Spaceship dragons.
Because a lot of them do look like spaceships.
Allison says, I wish they'd let us choose an edition when we press attack. Good news, edition select is coming.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we plan on allowing.
There were so many times, even as an adult, where like I would forget and I would go into a boss battle with like Burning Rush when I needed Crush Dance or something. So you won't be punished as harshly that way.
I didn't pause that in time, but I wanted to get a picture while it was charging up. or get some free cam action while it was charging up. It's also kind of funny seeing how close the dragon is to the enemy.
Look at how its shape is so different when it's all expanded out. Like it looks like a pretty general ball of stuff, and then when it actually expands to do this charge, you can see all these limbs or whatever are actually very slender and slim.
Mm.
So it almost looks more insect-like in this part. Like, what's the purpose of that big piece on the bottom? Is that just like the lower body?
I guess. Something like that. Are you really still not dead?
Do you want some help? Like, I'll take over. I'll make it work.
Oh, I can make it work.
Also, the attack you're watching right now,
Oh,
God, what is it called?
okay. I can't make it work.
Night Raid, is it? I think it's called Night Raid. Oof, you dead.
Yeah.
That was you got a 2619, which isn't too far off from a 2319 if you know the reference.
Not even a little bit.
Monsters Inc. It means like code red. There's a human child in the area. Get out.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
That save's pretty underleveled for that fight.
Oh, Night Raid. So the Night Raid spell you just saw, Monoxide used that as a testing ground for, what was it, like 50 enemies you did? You had a bunch of piggies, and then you had a bunch of vampire kiwis, and you showed them all getting hit with like a Night Raid or something.
Right, yes. We did one dev stream where we were fighting like 50 enemies at once.
That was so fun. I made a GIF out of it to make the kiwis look all dark and ominous.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find that stream. One sec. That was a fun one for sure. I think that was a little while ago. Yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, we just started right off the bat with yeah, 7 Fausts. I think these were the invincible ones too.
One invincible is enough, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably enough. What do we got
Yeah.
here?
Someone asked, "Are the assassins keeping their name?" I mean, yes. This is supposed to be stock LOD, and you choose which things you want changed for the most part. So Assassin Cox will still be Assassin Cox.
Yeah, so we aren't changing any retail assets at all except to fix bugs. We have fixed quite a few retail bugs. Just weird stuff like in the scene where Lloyd kills Levitz, Dart has no arms for a pretty significant portion of it. That's something that you'll never be able to unsee.
Pulled up Kibble's asking, where did this "so as an alien" thing come from? News to me. Monoxide's talking about the lore that I helped uncover and spread to many fans, where it was part of the Japanese guidebook. There's basically a little geography info for various locations, and one of them is like the whole planet. But the planet segment is like 2 or 3 sentences. It's such a teaser. It essentially confirms that SOA is part of a space-time organization. For loose understanding, think like the Q continuum from Star Trek, like except we know way less. So we know that there is one administrator per planet, and they apparently administrate tens of millions of these planets. And the word planet can also be interpreted as entire universes in the Japanese language. So it's a very powerful group doing whatever. Like, we only have a sample size of one. We only know that they're doing the divine tree on this planet. We don't know if it's similar everywhere else or if it's just all kinds of wacky stuff, what their general temperament or morality is. We know nothing of that. We only know that they exist, and we don't know why. And it's like so the people who wrote in the guidebook, and to some extent the in-game script, were really good at making you want to know more, giving you another little bit more, but then cutting you off with a second cliffhanger, which is one of my favorite kinds of storytelling, as much as it hurts at the same time.
Yeah, so it is confirmed lore. It's from an official source, but like that is basically the extent of it.
Yeah, it's literally just the confirmation that is there with no other details. Whereas with individual things like characters, Kubila, they actually go into quite a bit more detail. Like, Kubila was conflicted about whether to side with humans or winglies during the Dragon campaign because he's a hybrid. So there's extra details on the more individual level.
Yeah, so here is the Kiwi apocalypse.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh no. I think that.
Dart, you're in the line of
Oh,
fire. Get out!
yeah,
Yeah,
it
ran out
crashed
of
there.
save states.
All those Kiwis.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I think this time it had worked.
Question: wasn't Kubila the one who can cast insta kill? Yes, that was the like tombstone from the sky with a laser beam, and then he shouted "die."
Yeah, this dev stream got a little weird.
Will there be more ally slots? I think you confirmed that. Is that right?
Yeah, we plan on making it so if you want to, you could bring everyone into battle at once.
Oh, I forgot you did this thing with the sand horn. That's our dance video right there.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of synchronized enemies dancing to the beat. Oh god. Really quick to tie off the SOA organization thing. The planet is supposedly regarded as the Tesfer planet, loose translation TESFER, and that is an anagram of Fester. Now, we don't have any actual evidence to affirmatively say Fester is involved with or is SOA, but it's a funny coincidence. Tesfer and Fester.
Has anyone ever looked into seeing if there's anything like that in the original Japanese translation?
I don't remember. We're still waiting on the script dump to do most of that, so we need that to happen
Right.
first. As soon as we do, we can just cover all of it immediately.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if it was also the equivalent of an anagram in the original translation, then I think that would probably be a lot more of a concrete thing.
J-Man says, always hoped it was all 7 for the last fight because they all raised their weapons. So that should be a thing eventually. Similar to the all 7 of the party members. I think it was either this video or another one, Monoxide, where you did a preview of all 7 original Dragoons as best you could. It was like 6 out of the 7.
Yeah, we fought against all of the original Dragoons.
Yeah, so it was Zieg, Rose, Belzac, Damia,
Actually,
Suvel.
speak of the devil,
Is it at the end?
Right here.
Okay, yeah, show it. So Monoxide was mad enough to get this demoed during the dev stream. You can see from left to right, Kansas, Zeeg, is that Linus? You put Linus in there.
We needed
Dam-
somebody to fill out
Linus,
the.
Damia, Suvale, and Belzac. Shirley doesn't have a model, but you know, it's most of them.
We did have Rose in there at first because you fight against her in Dragoon form in Hoax, in like the training battle. But unfortunately, her script takes over the fight, and it just like basically turns it into like the training fight. So we couldn't leave her in there and still actually fight them.
Theoretically, if someone wanted to come in once SC was a little further along and do a, you know, vertical slice story mod of the Dragon campaign, you would have a decent start just by having access to the stock models for most of the original Dragoons, in the Dragoon form at least. So that would be something to at least tinker with and work with.
Yeah, no,
You
that
would
is
have
Suvale.
you would
You
have
can see
everyone except,
the names
sorry,
of the Dragoons here. But
you
yeah,
would
go
have
ahead, Drew.
everyone except Shirley. So all you would have to do is make a custom Shirley model. But yeah, it actually functions. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, we need to do some work before this can be made into an official feature because the way that the engine is set up, um, having this many combatants in a battle ends up overwriting a bunch of script data. So if any of the if any of them were actually trying to use that data, it would cause some weirdness to happen. But I've got some ideas for kind of solving that, so we'll see how that goes.
Simple Middleton said create a Smash Bros type arena. Similar, not the same, but similar. Although the project has been inactive for a long time, last year there was some work done to put LOD playable characters in Tekken, including a few non-playable characters like Lloyd. So that was in Tekken 7, and I was doing some videos for that. Tekken is a fighting game that doesn't use weapons for the most part. It's mostly just fist combat, but it was still really incredible to, even though they were just kind of, you know, Dart was in place of Jin, I think, and whoever, and they were using the official characters model animations. It was still great to see our characters do all these fancy movements and fight each other, and kind of had to get all the sounds working just right so that it was really fun to play with. Getting the battle music in for the fiery volcano stage, so it felt like Volcano Lude. It was a really cool idea, and the mod. Thank you very much for showing that.
Right now.
So this is kind of what we were doing is Lavitz versus Miranda and Lloyd versus Maru, like Wingly versus Wingly. It was so incredibly cool, and I hope that we can find a new team to come together to maybe do a new mod for Tekken 8 instead, since that's going to be a thing. It was really incredibly satisfying to just do random sparring between the characters. And there's just so much potential for additional characters too, like Garrich. Garrich is a melee fighter who doesn't use weapons, so he'd be perfect for this.
It's just absolutely wailing on Shanna.
Congo was super hard to make work because the collision model was so large and it was hard to grapple on and do all this stuff. But we even had a section. So the characters, the official Tekken characters, really quick, have the like intro scenes before the fight starts. And there's one for Congo. There's Congo there. The official character Congo was replacing had this thing where like they picked up a giant item and tossed it. And what the modder did is they replaced that model with the giant statue that falls in Homo Gigantos. So it was kind of like a reenactment thing, showing Congo take that statue fragment, this huge statue fragment, and tossing it right before the fight starts was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Was that Lavitz with a halo?
Might have been. Yeah, because the characters can have these like joke items. Yeah. So that's supposed to be like dead Lavitz.
Nice. Yeah, this is pretty
It was
great.
so cool. I should make a new just like concept video just to show what's possible if I can get Careface's permission to do like one last hurrah video to maybe inspire a new project. But the point being for everybody watching, like there are so many cool concepts within the LOD fandom, whether we're doing the Severed Chains stuff or the mods for Severed Chains or the translations to learn more information, scouring for extra concept art, putting LOD in other games like this. There are all kinds of cool, fun experiments and applications. So like this is where you can learn more about all that stuff.
Yeah, Lavitz's redemption. Yeah, and Severed Chains makes a lot of projects like these easier because we do a lot of like asset extraction and conversion and stuff, and we've learned a lot about the game's assets in doing this project. Um, a lot of file types that we could never like crack open before. Uh, we're able to convert all these models and textures and everything now. Um, that it was never possible before. So that is another really big benefit of doing a reverse engineering project like this. Aside from having a game that we can now play on the computer with all these nice new features. Drew, did you have well, Drew or anyone else, did you have anything uh that you wanted to say? I think we'll probably wrap up here now.
Sure. For me, I look forward to us being able to do wacky, crazy things like a Donkey Kong kind of a level where we have Dart in a minecart just going through a bunch of tunnels. um, being serious, the applications are gonna just blow your minds, everybody. Like whatever you think is possible, with enough time and volunteers, think bigger. It's already gonna be pretty amazing just in the next few months, and beyond that, who knows? Like hopefully with enough time we can get to things that I'm really looking forward to, like PvP and new mini games and leaderboards for all that stuff, built-in speed running tools, more accessibility options, which I myself will be able to benefit from personally because I got some hand issues. um, I do also want to say really quick that we are working on some big upgrades for our website, legendofdragoon.org. Monoxide here has been also not just working on Severed Chains, but been a big help in helping me upgrade our web service. We're getting off of shared hosting and going to a virtual private server, which basically means it's the site's going to load faster. We're going to be able to do way more stuff with it. It's going to be awesome. So that transition is now underway, and I can't wait to share more information about that in the coming weeks. And on to somebody else.
Anyone else have anything to say before we go?
It's actually just the two of us in the voice chat.
Everybody else fell asleep. All right. Well, thanks to everyone who dropped in today, checked out what we're working on. We really appreciate everybody just kind of coming and hanging out. If you like what we're doing here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave us a like on this stream, comments. It helps us out a ton. We uh, we do this every single Wednesday. Well, not every single Wednesday, but most of the time. Same time as this one. And I would like to give a huge thank you to my Ko-fi subscribers and donators. There is The Packle, J-Man001, Leningrad, Sparta, Shepherd, Zach, Sonlin, Doom Metal, Platinum Sarge, Milk Lizard, Chocolate, Anonymous, Vince Easter, Balder, Ambi, Forrester. And a recent donation from Dart Red Dragoon and Garrett Meyer. So huge thanks to all of you. If you would like to support me and my projects, there is a link to that in the chat, also in the video description. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Take care, y'all. Good night.